Yo, something I was just thinking about is just how like this daylight savings time just been hitting different, yo. Like, and I don't know if I've ever experienced it like this before, where it's like I'm ready to get into bed, like tired as hell at 6 p.m. And I just thought of like I was like, for some reason it made me think of like how we have like pets and stuff, like maybe a frog or a fish or like a lizard, and they got a tank for them, and like they stay in the tank. Have we create like an artificial environment. Fake rocks, fake grass, or whatever it may be, fake things for them to like play in, fake cover, you know, and it's artificial, but we create that little terrarium or tank aquarium, whatever it may be. I was thinking how like I was like, that's an unnatural like state of existence for them to be in, obviously. Their natural environment is in nature, in where there's fresh flowing water and rain, and there's predators and prey and wind, all type of stuff. And nature is self cleansing, self healing, and you know, there's a whole ecosystem. There's a whole ecosystem that they have a native ecosystem that they've been taken out of and put into tanks and stuff. That's actually part of the reason for me why um, it's like I like going to aquariums because it's so cool to see animals I would normally want to see, and aquariums and zoos. But it's like, dang, like you're not supposed to be here. You know what I mean? Like they supposed to be out in their natural environment type stuff. I used to work at an aquarium. It was amazing, but I couldn't help every day thinking like, dang, like I love seeing this. Like I said, it's like, dang, you need to be out in their natural habitat. Anyway. Um, Back to what I was saying, you know, with animals in an aquarium or a tank or whatever, that's not their natural habitat. They have certain, and this is me thinking. I'm like, this literally just came to me. I'm thinking like, I'm sure there's like different behaviors that they have in that artificial environment, in that tank or that aquarium that they wouldn't have in the wild. You know, because in an aquarium, they every day 6 o'clock they can expect um, water or no food to be plopped in the tank magically. It's like, oh, there's food. All right, it's like a routine thing every day, and it's like, but compared to in nature, they gotta go out and hunt and find that shit, find their next meal, you know, or even like with the light in the tank, um, like say you had like a pet frog or something, a pet fish or whatever it may be, or it's like you can walk in the room, turn a light, now it's bright as hell. For them, it's probably, oh, it's daytime, and then you keep it on all night, probably playing a game or whatever, da da da. It's like all night. It's like the light is like the sun for them, and I'm not saying it actually is. I'm just like I said, I'm just thinking out loud. I'm thinking as I'm speaking right now. I just press record. I'm recording, but I'm just thinking like, and then say you turn the light and then you turn it off, and then like 5 minutes later you turn it back on. It's like that could like mess with their like circadian rhythm or whatever. What they would naturally, what their body would naturally do at certain times of the day because of certain exposure of light. When it's light versus it's dark. Some nocturnal animals who are used to the night, if you got them in a tank or whatever, or in an artificial environment, and you turn on the light when it's supposed to be dark, or vice versa, that could mess up their internal environment, their behaviors. And it's like, long story short, I thought back to us, as humans in society, and it's like, what if we are in like this like societal fish tank, societal human tank, where it's like there are people in control, whatever, who are like almost like the keepers of this human tank artificial environment. And we have things like, daylight savings time, or we're gonna try certain things. Like let me say, like, just like how you would, I don't know, change out a filter and it's in one of your fish tanks or whatever, or change like some rocks or coral or whatever, change up the environment, whatever it may be. Or you have a daily schedule that you have every day, where you come in at a certain time, leave a light on for a certain time, and then turn it off, and leave it off, then turn it back on. And anyway, I'm just thinking like, what if things like daylight savings time are kind of like that, where we have our natural circadian rhythm and internal environment, but there's certain things that I was gonna say we agreed to, but I don't know who agreed to daylight savings time. I guess, I don't know, world leaders or whatever. And that's a whole other thing I heard there. I don't know exactly what's true about that. Like, it started off so like people could have more time out in the fields or whatever, and like farming, more daylight, whatever. I don't know. I've heard other theories as well, but it's like, what if that is similar to having a pet in like a fish tank, them being in an unnatural environment, artificial environment, and you changing one thing, which in that case is like the sun, or like the light, which is almost acting like the sun for them. For us, actually, yeah, for us, putting time ahead, forward or back 1 hour is affecting us in a way that's significant, in a significant way, because like I said, I don't know about y'all, but this daylight savings time this year, 2025, like, I don't know, yo. Like, it's really hitting different. It's really hitting different. And I don't remember it being like this, I remember like before, when during this time, like November, time, we get the time, we get an extra hour and just like sleeping in and stuff like that. But I don't remember like being like tired, like hella tired, Anyway. So yeah, it's just like, what if we are in like a societal human tank, human fish tank in a way? And daylight saving time is just one of them, It's like, because first of all, even the environments we live in, first of all, we're already out of nature, like, we're not living, I don't know, in the forest or just out in nature, and I said we have, concrete jungles and these square walls and drywall and Wi-Fi, radiation, everything. It's a lot of pros, a lot of good things that come with this. I have, like, right now it's like 25 degrees. It's still a little bit chilly in here. That's kind of how I like it. But it's like, I have heat because I live in a building that has heat, And it's like, that's amazing. That's awesome, So it's like, I appreciate what we have, but it's like, at what, like, it's like, I wonder, what have we lost by living in, I think I'm shaking the camera. What have we lost by living in these concrete jungles, in these buildings, in these squares? Like, there's no naturally straight lines in nature, I'm shaking the camera. Hand getting tired. But yeah, even like the walls and colors, there's colorology, there's certain things that affect our psychology. There we go. I think that's what that's one of the nuggets I feel like I was led to find. I'm tripping on my words, but it's like certain things can change, certain factors in our environment can change our psychology, I feel like. Just like a pet, one of your pets in in a tank, a fish in a fish tank, a lizard or a frog in a fish tank, they are already in an unnatural environment, and you just turn on the light or you changing one thing or whatever, that could change their whole biology, you know, for negative, in a negative way. And it's like, in what ways do they being those in control or like who are managing the fish tank of human society, it's like, in what ways are they changing our environment to manipulate us? I could think of a lot of ways. I'm just saying this as like a rhetorical question, because I know I could think of a lot of ways, freaking in the foods and spraying shit in the air, even clothes and shit, polyester. It's more than just that, but it's like all these little tweaks. Even probably like the Gregorian calendar. Like I'm pretty sure. Like I used to know a lot more stuff about stuff like this, but it's just been a minute since I really delve in. And now I'm just more focused on like finding information, like going within to find information. I still like read when I can, but I'm focused more. I'm mainly use my intuition and journey within, as you could say, for information, and just allow things to be. And I attract I attract the information that I need at whenever I need it. Anyway. But yeah, it's like all these different factors, all these different environmental parameters, you could say. So it seemed like it's very evident that somebody pulling the strings or some shit, different factors. And man, I'm getting real tired, losing track of my stuff, my thoughts. But yeah, I don't know, I just thought about that. I really just thought about that. And I'm gonna end with this. It's like, okay, if we are in some type of like human tank or whatever, that's an artificial environment, it's like, first of all, who is behind it? What kind of strings have they pulled? What have they changed? And it's like, essentially, what is our natural environment? What environment are we the most healthy in, where there's not a bunch of cancers and I don't know, fibroids or whatever, or high rates of disease and ailments, and it's like, what is our natural environment that is not inside the human fish tank or the human tank? It's like what is that? How do and how do we get back to that? And it's like, even while being in this artificial environment, what can we do to stay as healthy as we can, and mitigate this freaking daylight savings change, mitigate the shitty foods and fast food, or just crap in food. There's so much stuff being recalled in food all the time, it goes into many different factors, many different areas of life. But yeah, I think that's one of my first kind of, I don't know, thought experiments I've had like live. So y'all literally just watch me just think about that as I just got the idea. But yeah, I'm curious what anybody else think about this though. Let me know what y'all think. If y'all agree, disagree, or if y'all heard this before. But yeah, that's all for now. Peace.